Welcome to the Ponderous Brick Thinker. This is another installment in Learning from the Pros. For this episode, we're going to start with Lego set 10314 Dried Flower Centerpiece. This comes from the Lego Icons collection. As you can see, it's a very fancy arrangement with black background. And in the back, it shows how it can look pretty in your home. But also, if you get 3 of them, you can combine them to make a bigger centerpiece. A possibility. But for now, we're going to stick with this one. It is intended for adults, but at the same time, you can have 1 or 2 more people. I do not remember if this was in the previous bouquet, if they encouraged it to be a group project, but it kind of helps if somebody focuses on all those small pieces and help out with a lot of details here. And that's something I encountered in the last bouquet, where having this kind of arrangement looks great, but then just to put it together it was hard on my fingers then. After almost a year back with Lego, I'm going to see if I'm better equipped to handle one of these sets. So let's get started. Oh. Okay, there's 2. That's kind of interesting. They really emphasized the horizontal line of this bouquet and emphasized it with the instruction booklet. That's 6. There's 1. Okay, let's see which one of these is first. Maybe this one. Okay, I have to see what's going on here. Okay, so in bag 1. But what are they saying here? Bag 1 does the base, bag 2 does the outer perimeter, and then 3 fills in that part. Okay, so let's see, the everlasting creativity. Wait, did I read the other one? Probably so. Let's see, let's make sure this is the first page though. Okay, so display your reconfigurable model as a table centerpiece, or use the 2 mounted brackets to hang it on your wall. Combine 2 sets to create a 4-spoked centerpiece, or 3 sets for a large 6-spoke centerpiece for table decoration only. The mounting brackets can support 1 set. Combined sets should not be mounted on the wall. I guess because it's not a perfect circle anymore, but we'll see. And then the designer, Chris McEvey. Florists, interior designers, and flower enthusiasts everywhere love getting creative with dried flowers. From delicate grasses to majestic petals, dried foliage makes such versatile decor for centerpieces, vase arrangements, and wall art that can last for months, even years. With this latest addition to our Lego Botanical collection, we hope you will feel inspired to turn your own Lego Everlasting into a lush centerpiece in warm autumn colors. Enjoy building. Oh, there it is. Botanical collection. and I guess that's just a little part of the icons, because icons gets a lot more realistic models of different kinds. And then I'm assuming this comes from Chris. First flowers are nature's gifts. There is so much beauty in preserving them, giving them lasting life, and celebrating them as works of art. But did you know that your Lego dried flower art also has elements made from plant-based plastic? And that was also in the previous bouquet. Oh, okay. I thought that Chris was going to give us some design hints. But okay, let's start with bag 1. All right, so let's start with what are you, 6x8? And then this, nope. Oh wait, it is. It's just seen from this side, like so, but on this side it shows that the studs are here. Okay, then we can go with this kind of plate here. And this here. So I did notice the bags were kind of not full of pieces, a 1x2 rounded thing, but they're rather smaller. And then it's a different feel from the other bouquet because each bag had 1 or 2 flowers, maybe even 3. And this one is, rather than focusing on each individual flowers, it's let's say a strategy of how to build it out rather than each stem is a flower. It's just meant to be on this base. And then a 1x8. Okay. Two of those. And then go on top here. And then after that is this here with 1x8s. Okay, then two 2x4s. They go right there. Quarter on the lower dark orange. Same on this side, and then a nougat 2x4 plate. Okay, so it's not symmetrical. We have a 4x4 plate here, and we have one open, so that's good. And then a 4x4 with a hole, that's 2x2, like so. And then we're gonna get the curved plate to be here. Oh, there's a message. Built into each side of the model is a 2x6 plate with a mounting bracket so you can hang your decoration on a wall. This special element first appears in Dot's products. So this is the mounting plate thing. Okay, so it is specifically meant to hold it up on a wall because it has that kind of thing you find on picture frames. And it goes like here. A 2x2 area that's going to be filled in with these 2x2 round plates. And then I'm going to look back just because I'm going to see how. So it's pictured as this way. So this is the proper orientation. Well, according to that. Why did they go this way and not this way? Because then you instinctively want to hang it this way. We'll see. Okay, so we're in this step, all the 2x2 rounds, but we also need these quarter circles here. Kind of one step beyond the one below it. And then we're going to get smooth plates. 2x2 smooth plate here. And then a 1x4 nougat. And then a half stud, half smooth 2x2. with 1x2 smooth plate there. And I need another one here. 1x2 smooth with 1x4 nougat right next to it. And then a 2x4 smooth plate. That's black here. Okay. And then we're going to go here. Two 2x4s on the outer edge. And then 2x4 nougat this way. Another one this way. And then a 2x4 over here. Okay, so it has some heft to it. It has some weight. And then we're going to have some detailing here. But first we need to get this half circle plate with smooth. It is a 4x4 curve. Like so. And then we put it here. Yep. Oh, it kind of looks like a boat. And then I think these are 1x6. Yep. And then just along the outer edge. 4 of them. Yep. And then we have this. It's a 2x4, but with only 2 studs over here. And then the reason why there needs to be smooth plates are these hinge parts. They're going to go right here. So it's posable, assuming. Also another one over here. So at least that's why there's an effort to keep this part smooth. Oh, and then another. How are they connected? Okay, so this one is right here. It's a rounded 2x1 plate. And then another pair of brackets. Oh, like in the center. Okay, so it's not. Wait, are they supposed to? I think they're supposed to be like that. Touching. A little bit of friction holds them in place, but if they go in the opposite direction, they break free. But essentially, it's making a triangle. That's one way to get that angle. Okay. And then step 15, we have this rounded 2x2 plate. Smooth, I think about right here. There's hardly any reference, but we're going to surround it by these quarter smooth plates. So it is touching that, and that's where it should go. So just looking at this right now, before any plants get to it, it looks like something. That this is not just something you cover up. This has some design to it. There was no reason to put a nougat plate underneath all this. This has some order to it. So that's kind of interesting that even at this stage and step or part, it's not going to really be seen, but there is some design to it. Then we're going to start putting our plants. There. No, here. I'm not sure exactly where. If I put it here, it fits. It's not on the brown. And there is at least one stud that's visible, so it might be in between, and it's in line with that one. Okay, so we're gonna go with that. But yeah, it looks one more. It looks interesting. With the right colors, it could look futuristic and interesting. But that's an interesting way of getting that triangle shape. Okay, so now bag 2. This one is a bit bigger. I see the more intricate pieces, which we're going to be using to make that. Okay, so they have the preview image, and so it's kind of funny that all of this, maybe there's more to it, but this is the first part of bag 2, maybe? It has to be because there's a red pieces here and there's no red pieces there right now. So that's just part of the bag 2. It seems like a big bag for that small piece. So I have to say something about this. This was the Lego tree of my younger days. It was more bright green or just green. But now that these all the Lego sets are more accurate, these are not, I don't see them as much. It feels more stiffer than what I remember. Okay, so where do we start? It's a 1x4 plate. Can't be smooth. We're gonna attach things to it. Maybe it's in here. Nope. I don't see it there. Here we go. And then a ball joint receiver here. And then another one right next to it. And step 17. And then a smooth 1x4. And then begins this. Okay, so we're gonna need get one of these pieces with, I think these are lances. Go like this, and then one all the way down. And they're not going to be twisted. They need to be aligned. But then I'm going to assume something, that there's going to be a this and then a circular one stud plate in between. Hold on. Let's see. Let's make sure we get in the right orientation. I think it's like this. Okay, and then push it down. So that keeps it consistent. Spacing. These two are rather together, but this one is on the edge and it can be a little bit pulled out so that it can be even with the others. So I'm going to go this way because it was kind of hard to push this plate into here and be accurate about it. So I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to ultimately have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Okay. That was okay. Just a little bit repetitive, but nothing strenuous on my fingers. And here we're going to get, I think it's a lightsaber piece. Let's see. There we no. No, it's well, I'm not sure. Once I open a a Lego set with a Jedi, and then I'll know if it's a lightsaber or something else entirely. Okay, and then we're gonna get this ball joint. Not this one. This one has the cross reference. This one, it's smooth and it probably can fit in here. Oh, and then it goes in here for posability. And then we're gonna, well, before that, we needed to do this. 3 single step plates. And in here, then we could do that. And but then also something here is it's a brown, a modified single plate. This kind of deal with this nougat thing, and then a white crown thing with something maybe nougat. Oh, a rock kind of looking thing, and put it there. Yep. And then on the dark tan part there, but then I can rotate it so it's kind of in that direction. So maximum posability. You can have this and then rotate it a little bit to change angles. There. And then we're going to attach the tree, round 2x2 plate with this facing inward. And then the tree is attached to this. And there we go. We have the check neck ball joint that goes in here. There is a cross receiving there. There we go. And then it goes into the ball joint receiver. Now I need to look back. I don't think so. The other tree is going to be used in this part, but this here is done only once. Oh, and then we attach it. So this here, and this is on top of this one. Okay. So just looking at that, there is some gaps, and maybe that's why this is so nicely built, because it was expected that not every part of it's going to be covered with the floral parts. Okay, so now we're going to create something similar with a 1x4 plate, and then a ball joint, receiver, and 2 of them. And then a smooth 1x4. Let's see what I'm going to do. Something floral here. It's going to be this part. A little bit more complicated. So it looks like we get the rounded ball and this, and then also here. Good. 2 tri-leaves. And then this thing. And there's flowers. Yes, these flowers just are, it's very delicate. There. And four of them. Oh, okay, so each one has two. Or gets two. It has three stems though. And they go in the leaves, yes. Then these, they're not symmetrical, so again, options for variety. There. Okay, got a nice color going on, the olive green. And then it continues going up. I'm getting one of these with a leaf. And then the flower goes directly on there. Okay, so the inner part hole fits into one of these here, but the whole of this fits into this here. And then it goes on top. Oops, there we go. Oh, and it can, oh, and do it 2 more times. Well, let me see, did I do, yeah, I just continue building on top of it, of the central stem. And then a leaf. And then a flower. And then along the central stem, there. That looks kind of nice. Okay, so that's this here. Then 2 more times without a leaf. It's just this part with the white flower directly on there. And then along the central stem. That makes it really look organic. Just having so many ways of, growth that eventually it's, different at each level. Oh, no leaf. It's just a flower. I wonder what if these come in other colors too, or how widely used are these? They're almost like the bamboo, but they have these little branch. And then it's ready to put into the ball joint here. And then we're going to go to the rounded 2x2 with this here going in like that. And then here with the Technic ball joint. And then I suppose that click is necessary. Just it's a signal that it's reached all the way in. And then insert. And then along this one here. Yep. Okay. The angles do make it look exciting. I know it's very dull colors, but the angles are very dramatic, that there are coming out at, like an explosion, radial. They come from a point and outward. Okay, so that's so far this part down here. Oh, then we're going to get into the spokes. And then it starts with a 2x4 with this kind of ball joint receiver. And add 3 more. I wonder why they did that. You do one and then in the other case another one, but this one you do one and then three. Why not all four? Okay, and then a smooth 1x4. And then a smooth 1x2. And then this is a modified 1x2 that has a claw. Okay. Then we go immediately to these pieces. So it's a Technic ball going into this part here. Okay, and then this part goes into this here. And then there's little teeth to pose it and it stays. Okay, a Technic ball going into this one right here. And then it goes in like that. And it goes on the inner two. Let's see how many how do we pose it? That will come later, but this one is now a tri-leaf with a flower resting on top, and now I see it. It's right there. It's hard to say which stud to put it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, it's all the one that's closest to the hinge. Oh, and then there's a message. Let's see. The detailed texture of the detailed texture of the pearl millet stalks is created with a stack of conical gears. That's the other thing. In the other bouquet, it showed or had a little blurb of each flower type. And that's the closest we got so far. Okay, so then we get here. As far as I know, there's nothing to stop it from sliding off other than just friction. So I'm going to need 12 new ones, not counting, so it's going to be a total of 13. Okay, so that's 6 new ones. Yes, and I am putting them in this direction, but since it's symmetrical, it can be flipped around but they all have to be in the same direction. So that's 9 and then 3 more. Okay, so there's 12. And then there is an expected little gray showing, and that's covered with a tan cone with, it might be a dark tan singular stud plate with a hole, and that's going to get a ball joint that's smooth and can be inserted here. And this is going to be attached to this part here. And that's pretty much as far as it can go. this direction. All right, and then we're gonna get to another lance. Okay, so it's in this direction, going in like this, with one more coming in. And then like the other one, they all need to be aligned. Same orientation here. Okay. I need 5, 7 total. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, these go here. Okay. My fingers are starting to get tired a bit. I don't know, it's just the itty-bitty pieces and just trying not to break them. And then this thing that's a maybe lightsaber, we'll see later in the future, but it goes here with a circular ball joint that inserts here. And it goes into this. Oh, never mind. It gets 3 circular single stud plates with a hole. And it goes right there. Okay, so there's no hint of the brown lens. Interesting. It goes here. This one, oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Get here, and then we're going to add a whip. Oh, with that little hook claw thing right there. Just going to hold it there. Then it can be added to the base. And now I'm assuming it's going to be right here. It kind of shows that it's touching. But it doesn't make sense for it to touch in that direction. Maybe it's just perspective. It's really looking like that. But in either case, it looks pretty nice. Maybe that's why they put it in black background, because you don't know which one's Lego or which one's the background. Here, it's kind of all covered in shadow. Then we're gonna do something else. Okay, a 4x4 plate with a rounded edge 2x1 here, and then a brown 2x4 plate with underneath it a 1x2 rounded plates, like so. And then, wow, it's going to be a lot of ball receiving joints here, 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 and here, with modified 2x2 plates that have a smooth and 2 studs. And they create this kind of pattern where the studs are in the center of the 4x4 area. And then what do we have here? We have a cone and then a Technic ball joint. Like so, and then this T thing gets a leaf here and then another one below it. That's kind of a nice arrangement. And then one on top. I don't really see an indication of if it's supposed to be like radial or maybe it's just all posable. Okay, and then this one just goes on to here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to do something similar, Technic round, with a cone, a T, and then these dark orange leaves. Goes like that. And then this one gets a, well, that's interesting. This, in person, it is a bright orange. I see it there. It's barely noticeable in the picture, but I wonder how it's going to be in the video. It looks, on the monitor, it looks like really bright compared to the dark orange. In person, it's like a very highlighted point. And then this goes on this side. And now we're going to create something here with that. Okay, a ball Technic with a brown cone. And then a rounded, make sure. Yes, it's a rounded single stud plate. It's not a flower with all the shadows on it. I thought it was. And then it gets a whip. Guess they're all the same. Yeah. Is insert. Oh, and then it gets a lantern or a pumpkin. And then do this 2 times. Okay, so we had a Technic round ball joint with a brown cone, single stud plate with a hole, and then a whip. Okay, and then it's inserted in the remaining ball receiving joints. Oh, I forgot the pumpkin. There we go. So this is going to be right there. It's going to be smooth here, so this part needs to go inward, and it's going to touch over the 1x2 rounded plate. And I wonder why this. I don't really see a clear reason for that. I just need to move that ball. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Like so. So that's kind of interesting how they have this kind of separating the similar color pieces. This almost does this job, but it's more leaning towards the brown, even though this is a dark orange piece. It lends itself closer to the brown. Okay, and then we're gonna go to step 51. This attaches to this. Then with a T piece, goes like that, and then connects to this, and then connects to this. That's a lot of steps. And then it gets a leaf on that G joint. Okay, and it goes right there. Kind of hiding this part. And that's bag 3. So in the first bag, there was no extra pieces, but then I have 3 extra whips. Wow. No extra pumpkins, but still it can be like this, where it's just a little bit more pieces to decorate with. Okay, so it's very promising. I'm going to stop it here for now and then continue in the next episode. But this looks interesting. I do see it referring to the base. It's a little bit more noticeable in person than what the box shows. One of the curious things is in the box, I think it's tilted this way, because if it were flat, it doesn't go further down. And this definitely won't cover that. And we'll see in the next installment if the upper ones kind of, give a little bit more cover, which it does look like. There's going to be these kinds and then that. And then the focal point is still coming forth. Okay, so this has been the Ponderous Brick Thinker. Thank you for stopping by. If you liked the episode, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see how this project progresses, go ahead and subscribe and sign up for notifications. And see you next time.